This is Baruch here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. I'd still like to get some introductory music coming in, but I don't have time to try to play with it and try to figure this out. Something that my grandchildren wouldn't have any trouble with. Front page Kuf Mem Dalet. This is the morning Zohar. So the Zohar says like this: what this Parshas told us, today is the third day of the week. Today is the day of Tiferes. That God should bless us with balance. So let's look down at over here. We'll just read let me see if I can find it here. We'll read the words of the Zohar itself. Rabbi Yitzhak kom lailachad. Rabbi Yitzhak got up one night and he said, the Malay Barais learned Torah. Rabbi Yehuda kom b'kesaroy b'hakushad. So this word kesaroy apparently is an Arabic word that really refers to the living room, or the Hechel, he says, of the place that Rabbi Yehuda was living. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Ekum be'ezel l'gabe Rabbi Yitzchak. He says, let me get up, let me go over by Rabbi Yitzchak. I'll bring this down a little bit. There we go. So let me learn Torah with him. We'll join together like in oneness. So he also brought his son Chizkiah along with him. At that time, he was a child. So when he got to the gate of the house of Rabbi Yitzchak, he overheard that Rabbi Yitzchak was saying, "Vayehi Avraham," and he was quoting a pasuk. And the pasuk from our parsha, he says that after the death of Avraham, that it came to pass, Vayivarach Elohim as Yitzchak beno, and Elohim came and blessed Yitzchak beno. Now I notice that Elohim didn't say Vayivarach Hashem Yud Vavke, which is Lashon Rachmanus. Instead, it said the word Elohim, which is Lashon Din, because Yitzchak really represents Din. Vayivarach Elohim. So that after the death of Avraham, then he came and he blessed Yitzchak. V'yeshev Yitzchak in Be'er L'chai Roi, and that's the rest of the pasuk, that he stayed at that he was dwelling at this place called the well of the Chai Roi, I guess, of the living vision. I'm not sure what it means, and so the Matuk Medavash is going to take that on in a few minutes, or actually the Zohar says it, and then we'll see it in a little bit more detail in the Matuk. Chai Kral love Reisha Seife, love Seife Reisha. So the Zohar says that the beginning of this pasuk and the end of this pasuk, they don't match. Why did the Kodesh Baruch Hu have to bless Yitzchak? So he said, in other words, why didn't Avraham Avinu bless Yitzchak before he died? Begin the Avraham Baruch. What's the reason why he didn't bless him? My time, because he didn't want the blessing to carry over to Esav. So therefore, the brachos went over to Guchabarichu, and he fulfilled the bracha. V'yeshev Yitzchak in Be'er L'chai Roi. Then the Zohar says, but what about this phrase here, that he was living at this place of the living well of vision? My L'chai Roi. What does L'chai Roi mean? El Deschaver Ba'Shchinta, because this is a place of the appearance of the Shechina before. The Malakaima is Chazirah. It's a place where the living Malach, that living Malach, can be found there. To Targumo, that's the Targum of it. Again, Kach, Berache. That's the reason why Kodesh Baruch Hu blessed him. That's still not 100% clear. He said he didn't want to bless Esav, and so that's the reason. Let me see if I can get down a little bit more. Bring it over here. Let's read just the Matik Medavash as much as possible. He says, Rabbi Yitzchak kom laila chod la'asok b'Torah. He got up one night to learn Torah. Ba'osa shah kom Rabbi Yehuda b'heichel, also in his house. Rabbi Yehuda got off also la'asok b'Torah. So the Matik writes in the Lashon Arab, in the Arab language, Nikra Heichel Kaser. So it's called Kaser. So Rabbi Yehuda Ekum be'ezel l'gabe Rabbi Yitzchak. Oh, now get up, let me get up. And let me go over to Rabbi Yitzchak. Rabbi Yehuda Akum be'ezel Rabbi Yitzchak. So let me learn the Torah with him, and we'll make a yichud at the time of the lina. So his son Yechezkel came along with him, who was just still a child. And as they came closer to the door, he said, Shema Ma'achre Adalas, he was able to hear behind the door. In other words, he's outside and inside is Rabbi Yitzchak. He was able to hear Rabbi Yitzchak Shehikshel on the pasuk, and he had a kasha on this pasuk. And the pasuk was V'hi Akre Mos Avraham V'yivarach Elokim Es Yitzchak B'nau V'yeshev Yitzchak Im Ber L'chai Rawi. He says Hine Gimel Chalukos Yesh B'pasuk Zeh. There are three different differentiations in this pasuk. That if you look at it, they really don't have anything to do one with the other. So therefore he asks this question. He says, Hi Kwa Love Reshe Seife, the love Seife Reshe. He says the beginning's not like the end, and the end's not like the beginning. This is the question. This is his question. Ma Tamsha Kodesh Baruch Hu Ho Yitzarach Levarachas Yitzchak. Why did Kodesh Baruch Hu have to bless Yitzchak? Elabadai Lefi Shadachah Baruch Hu Avraham Aviv. So he had to do it because Avraham Avinu had not blessed it. Hariyesh Kesher Bein Rosha Pasuk Lem Seisa. So therefore you see that the middle, the beginning and the middle go together. He Lefi Shemeis Avraham. So since Avraham is dead, Berachas Yitzchak, and he didn't make a bracha on Yitzchak, L'chein Ba Kodesh Baruch Hu Baruch. So Kodesh Baruch Hu came and he wanted to bless it. But cautious of that, it's a problem. He says, why? So why didn't Avraham bless Yitzchak? Mataretz, and he answered, Mishum the love Kadesh Shelo Yizbarach Esav, because he didn't want the blessing to flow to Esav. Ki ein koch ba'adad devarach ba'ofen shetachol ha'bracha rak al echad mizaro, because a person blessing another person does not have the ability that the bracha that he's going to give should be rak al echad mizaro shel hamizbarach, that should only be on one of the elements, on one of the relatives of the family of the person he's blessing, not on everybody else. So therefore Avraham, he elevated and he gave over the concept of bracha to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who Yivarachas Yitzchak, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should bless Yitzchak. Because he knew how to make a bracha. That the bracha should be chal, rak al chelik Yaakov sheba Yitzchak, only in the portion of Yaakov that's in Yitzchak. That should stop at that point. But look, Yisbarach Esav, and there should be no bracha at all for Esav. Like the Var Pirsha Chazal, the rabbis already said, okay? Now it goes over to different question. So in other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to bless Yaakov, so had to bless Yitzchak, his father wouldn't do it because Esav was alive. And he saw what would happen to Esav, and as a result of that, he didn't want to make a bracha because he couldn't stop the bracha from going to Esav, who would be more matzliach in the bad things that he's going to do. So he says, Lama nikrach ber l'chai rawi. Now he says, why is it called the ber l'chai rawi? What do those words mean? So he answers and he mataretz, because Yitzchak was able to make a yichud with the Shechina, that had a dwelling place, in other words, focused, and the Shechina was able to focus at that place. So therefore it was fit for a bracha. And then the Kodesh Baruch Hu actually performed the bracha at that place. The Farshki Milas Ber L'chai Rawi Pirushim. So that's kind of a funny, it's a beautiful sounding word, Ber L'chai Rawi in Hebrew. It's a funny construction, difficult to understand exactly how to say it. So he says, let's take the Targum. Ber Shemalach Abris, that's what he calls it. It's a bear that the angel of the bris, and he says, who is the angel of the bris? In other words, the object of the bris. That's where I see it, or the carrier of the bris is the Shechina. Nirasollah. Now, that particular phrase, I'm not familiar with it, where he says he calls the Shekhinah the Malach HaBris. Became in Shekhinah, so since the Shekhinah had revealed herself at that place, Pam Achas, so therefore that was the place that Yaakov fixed in order to do his bodedus, the holy place. The Chizchaber Sham im Ashchina. B'shvil zeh Baruch Hu HaKodesh Baruch Hu, and for this reason the Kodesh Baruch Hu blessed him. Hareshi Yesh Kesher, the Gimel Al Posuk, so therefore it ties it all together that Ber L'Chai Roi has a place of blessing. The blessing has to come from HaKodesh Baruch Hu in order to avoid the spilling over of the bracha into our brother Esav. This is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kola.